was down where fisher folk gather. I wandered far from the...
So what else are we going to find out?
Raising your daughters. Do you have any stories about them?
Honey, you know, to this day, when people talk about having problems raising their kids, I don't know what, by the grace of God, I was no different than anybody else. But truthfully, Mom, I can say that my girls, they did plenty of dating and they did socialization. But I don't ever remember having a problem. But my girls always, I said they did just exactly. I was saying that to a friend yesterday. I said one girl was always so jealous because my girls, they went through school and they didn't get super good marks, but they were good students. They graduated from high school, they went to college and graduated, got teaching degrees and had teaching jobs and got married and we had both church weddings for them, and not compared to today, they weren't expensive, but in those days they were. And they both had families, and hey, you know, I've got so much to be grateful for and thinking, I tell you, though, Patty and I often talk about that.
Okay. On to something a little more fun.
What?
And this was requested by Uncle Mike.
Oh,
he was wondering, when you first started watching the Tigers, did you have a favorite player?
Oh, not especially. I used to like Whittaker and Trammell, but not when I was really young.
Okay.
I don't think so.
What about later on? You said Whittaker and Trammell.
Yeah, and you know, Norman Cash, one of Don's friends, was Norman Cash's roommate in college, and so he used to give us lots of tickets to the ball games then. And you know, that's why Alex's Dave, you know, he and I always would relate well together because we could talk baseball together.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about in more recent years? Do you have a favorite player that you like?
Yeah, I like that Granderson I sent to the Yanks. yeah. No, I know. I like today. I like third baseman Inge. I think he doesn't get enough credit for what he
Brandon
does.
Inge.
Yeah. But I like them all. But win or lose, it's only a ball game.
Now your grandchildren all mentioned going down to the Tigers game.
Yeah.
Do you have any memories of why you started taking them, or how often you would go?
I don't remember taking. You mean David and Michael?
Yeah, Sue mentioned it too.
Oh yeah, Sue went to the ball games with me.
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Listen, I always feel bad. I always to this day, I feel bad about this. That I had tickets to the World Series that I gave away to my girlfriend, you know, because I thought that Michael and David were too young to go.
How old were they? Do you remember?
I don't know how old they were. But I always to this day feel so bad that I didn't bring them.
Oh, I don't think they feel bad. I know both of them mentioned going to the All-Star game.
Oh, yeah, and we bought, do they tell you about how they were really up on the top, almost to the top row?
No.
No, they weren't good seats, but we were there. And, you know, I don't know how we could have, we didn't buy cheap seats, but anyway, we got seats, but they were there. Well, Michael talks about that too, you know. But I can remember when David was he was just a little tight. I took him to Grand Rapids on a train, and I was so proud of that boy because I had just sisters, and then I had girls, and then when David was born, I just thought there was nothing in the world like David. That's Paul's father, and he's really special to me. And I took him and we took him to John Ball Park and bought him a helium balloon, and he was going to bring this home. And when he got go, the balloon came off the string, and he had the string around his hand, and the balloon was gone. Just like someday he was going to catch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Sue mentioned she used to go to a company picnic from the phone company
Oh,
with
yeah,
you?
down to Christmas parties.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was on 10 Mile Road.
Where at?
To the telephone company garage.
Okay.
And they always decorated it just beautiful, beautiful, and had nice entertainment. And that was another thing. One time they had a puppet. I mean, they had entertainment. And I said to the kids after the game, I says, wasn't that a wonderful puppet show? And David, he couldn't talk very good yet then. And he says, Graham, it wasn't puppet, it was marionettes.
Huh.
And I tell you, at that stage, I didn't even know there was a difference, I don't think.
Now, I know one of my memories that I have even, and especially my parents' generation, was going up to Binghauser's.
Oh, yeah.
How did you become friends with them?
Oh, well, Paul, they talked school with Don at Eastland, and she had already quit. Well, you know something? I must have known them before Don went in the service, because I can remember they lived in Royal Oak, and I can remember going over there to visit them when Don was in the service, I think. And then when they came, but their oldest daughter is the same age as Donna.
Okay.
And she was a little girl that was very independent. And Donna, you could pick her up and you'd sit on her lap, and she was just a real lovable little girl. And the other one was she was independent. And Binghauser just loved those little kids. Well, when those kids got bigger, or his kids, she came home one day and said, Dad, I am so embarrassed to have to tell people that you are a beer distributor. So at that time, they had an opportunity to get a job up in Lincoln, Michigan. Up, that's where they moved.
Up north.
Up that way, yeah. And so he took that teaching job, and moved up there. They lived in a trailer for a good bit, at least 2 or 3 years before they bought this house they live in now. And so Don has always been friends with them. And you knew she died now, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we just always, we were always there, and Don spent lots and lots of time, hunting up there and cleaning the woods, and the boys spent lots of time with Don at the trailer.
What would they do up there?
Well, they got that. Well, they would play monkey in the trees, and when they trim those trees and bend them over and jump from one tree to the next. But don't you know they got that whirligig or whatever you call that thing, that they climb up a tree, and that string, that stuff came from the telephone company. I got that from, and that rope would go from one tree to branch to the other.
Like a zip line?
Yeah, Paul, I just told your dad the other day that I had, Christine called and said, she just wishes we'd come up there to visit her and see what a change they've made.
Who is Christine?
Christine's their youngest daughter.
Okay.
She was born after they moved up there. They were both, he was more a biology teacher, I think, and she was a phys ed teacher.